only blackness, the absence of light. These are the eyes of a psychopath.
Alright guys, this story is pretty fucked up. South Korean TikToker Yoon was murdered in September. Guy gave her like $70,000 American, and in his 50s, hunted her down, stalked her, and murdered her. DSP's take on it, I already saw because I live streamed this, but I had to do a separate video because his take on this is, I'm not saying she deserved it, but that's what he gave her doing poses and taking money for kissy faces. I'm not saying what happened to her was deserved. However, she shouldn't have done this. She'd be like me, just take the money and give them nothing back. I don't want to interrupt that often because it's just, you gotta get it in context. Guys, that wasn't in context. So I want to get the entire clip of him saying, I'm not saying she deserved it, but, I mean, it's the same thing as prostitution, isn't it? I mean, he's not doing the sexual act part, but it's the same thing, right? It's just prostitution. Now you're probably saying, no, you're kidding me, right? You're fucking with me, James. I am not. Let's watch.
Extreme Machine, what's up? Extreme Machine, you were massively delayed. He's talking about the guns comment that someone made 30 minutes ago. He's like way behind. Yeesh. Okay. So let's start talking about these news stories that we have to talk about today, folks. You ready? 2 news stories. One's pretty crazy and the other's insane. Want to start with the crazy news story? Let's start with the crazy news, then we'll get to the insane news. Okay? Okay. Oh, man.
Take it seriously, the asshole.
This next news story is incredibly sad. It's incredibly insane. It's incredibly unfortunate. It's everything bad. Okay? Everything bad with creation. Everything bad with the internet. Everything bad with this fanboyism mentality. Ready? I don't think I am, but we got to do it. All right? Look at this. South Korean TikTok star Yoon killed by an obsessive fan after a live stream. Yoon, a 25-year-old aspiring actress with over 300,000 TikTok followers, was found suffocated on a remote mountainside in Muju County, North Jeolla Province, just 30 minutes after ending her live stream on September 11, 2025. Authorities arrested a man in his 50s, a longtime viewer, who donated nearly $70,000 to her streams after CCTV, that's closed caption TV, footage. Wait, CCTV is closed caption? No, it's not. It's closed circuit TV. I'm an idiot. It's closed circuit TV. Linked him to the scene. He confessed to the murder following a dispute over their failed business partnership. I like how I said completely the wrong thing. Also, that wording is weird. He confessed to the murder following a dispute over their failed business partnership. What does that mean? A failed business partnership? Someone gave her $70,000 because she was a content creator on TikTok. And AI, this is an AI-generated article for the record. See? It makes you think that there was a business partnership. There was no business partnership. Okay? The incident has sparked national outrage and discussions on the risks of parasocial relationships in online streaming, with calls for enhanced anti-stalking laws and platform protections. Well, first off, there will never be platform protections. The reason being is there's laws right now that protect all social media. YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, I can keep going. There's a law that says those businesses are not responsible whatsoever for things that take place. What people post, what people say, harassment. Now, they're all...
Because how would you police that? How would you police that, dumbass? Well, I mean, they should find out who Evil AJ is and hunt him down and make him take all those "this is how you don't plays of me" off the internet, guys. If they don't do that, then they're responsible for "this is how you don't play" movement.
Are things in place supposedly to help if someone does do something awful, like break the law, or post up a video of a brutal murder, or racism, or horrible harassment. But there's literally no responsibility for these sites to ever do anything about content posted, harassment. They don't have to do anything. They're legally told you're not responsible for any of it. So you can have someone who systematically stalks, harasses, and kills someone as a result of them posting on social media, and the social media site cannot be held legally responsible in any way, shape, or form because of the way that laws are structured currently. Okay? That's all I want to say up front, all right? Now, first thing I want to do is read some of the responses to this story. Top response is from Asmund Gold, who says, a cautionary tale for any streamer. If someone randomly starts giving you a ton of money, stop and block them. I know it might sound insane, but think about the kinds of people who will give $50,000 to a girl on the internet. Insane people. Be safe and proactive. There's also some strong criticism of Korean media, because what Korean media did is they posted up the face of the content creator who passed away, but then they're showing a picture of the person they arrested, but they're blurring it out completely. So
Mind you, OIC, Vidar Viking / Brightside Viking, Emerald 7, King Tut, and so many others have just shown up and dropped thousands, some of them tens of thousands of dollars on him.
criticism is, why are you showing the face of the person who passed away, but not the face of her killer? Isn't that kind of mess? Why are you protecting the killer and not the person who died? Okay, so there is some criticism of that as well. All right. Horrific tragedy. This is why I advise women against having a public social media presence. Not to restrict them, but because of the psychopaths out there, lonely and unstable people like this form unhealthy parasocial attachments, spending large amounts of money, and then linking to the article. Again, here's what they're talking about. Here is the actual streamer who passed away. Here's her murderer. They blurred his face out. So it is confirmed the person, this guy, killed her when she tried to cut off contact with him. Okay? Look at this. The devil doesn't come as a villain in red with horns. The devil comes disguised as everything you've ever hoped for. How about this take? Taking $70,000 from someone and not giving them anything in return is just asking for them to crash out. You should always ask what they want and make an honest decision about whether you're willing to sell that or don't take the money. Man, we've got some interesting takes, don't we? Right? We got some very interesting takes about this. This is exactly why creators beg for protection against cyberstalking. The warning signs are always there, but law enforcement ignores them until a tragedy happens. So here's someone actually responding to Asmon Gold in his statement. I don't think it's about the money. I'm sure there are people in your chat who you've given a lot to you over the time, yet they're not trying to dissect your body and pack it into a suitcase. How about this one from Metatron?
Like,
Never meet anyone physically. If you're a streamer or YouTuber, particularly in these times, do not meet anyone. Not a fan, not a business partner, not a sponsor. No one who isn't a person you actually know and whose connection comes from your online presence. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that adds anything. It's all the same about protecting his face. Here's a good point. Almost as if strangers donating lots of money are right in the head. When will streamers realize it's not normal supporting me? You wish they have intentions behind it when it comes to dropping bags on you, right? Okay, we can keep going, but basically, it's an awful story, and there's all these different takes, and there's all these different things that we can talk about in regards to it, all right? So here's the deal. Back in the day, early YouTube, I became a prominent content creator, not a streamer. I wasn't a streamer at that point. I was just making on-demand videos. I became very popular for making said videos. People wanted to meet me. People wanted to interact with me, and I was like,
South Korean TikToker murdered. DSP finds a way to make it all about me. We'll
do Ask the King every once in a while. But the demand started to grow. People wanted to meet Darkside Phil. They wanted to get merch signed. They wanted to shake my hand. They wanted to take a picture with me. And so I decided, hey, all right, I'll start going out there. I'll start going to conventions. I'll hold a panel. I'll have a table where people can come up and meet me or whatever. And I did that for like a year or two. And it was nice. I'll be honest. I don't think I ever really met anyone who, in my opinion, seemed like a weird, stalkerish, obsessive weirdo, okay, who was going to do something horrible or anything like that. Now, who knows, right? Maybe I was just lucky with the few conventions and things that I attended. You never know. At the same time, all right, I was always with friends. Never did I go to an event by myself. I was always there with a group. I was always hanging out with the group. I was be sure never to be alone, okay? Also, let's be honest, back then, when I was at the height of my YouTube popularity, it wasn't about actual contributions. It wasn't like someone was contributing to my stream or contributing to, it wasn't like that. It was based on video views. So it was a different time. There wasn't someone saying, hey, I'm going to donate a whole bunch of money to you today. And then you're wondering, gee, is this person right in the head or whatever? You know what I'm saying? It was a very different time back then, okay? Over time, I think what's happened is that the situation has changed with content creation. We've gone from, hey, I just make this offline content for you to watch and enjoy at your own rate, and that's it. That's our relationship, to now I'm a live streamer. I hang out with you every day on stream, right? We have a good time together. And basically, because we do that, we now have this parasocial relationship where you come to hang out with me every day and we have conversation, we have fun, you contribute, I shout.
Yes, you contribute. The only part that matters is you contributing.
You out, right? And I think what happens is some people get it and some people don't, all right? When it comes to content creation, it's very simple. The person on the other end of the internet is never going to be your close personal friend. Maybe there are some situations where that does happen, but in general, 99.99999% of the time, that person you're looking at, including me, is never going to be your close personal friend. You're never going to be in a relationship with that person. That's crazy thinking. Sadly, I just think there's so many people on the internet who believe that. They look at that person on the other end of the camera and they say, oh, well, maybe if I'm nice enough to them and I contribute enough to them and I talk to them enough on a stream, I can have a close personal relationship. They could be my real friend. We can actually hang out and do stuff together. We can actually go on dates and we can have a relationship and this and that. And that's
Troy Smith. You know who that is? That's OIC.
Never going to happen. I don't even know how crazy it can get that people would believe that, but they do. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I've talked about this before, so don't worry about it. But listen to this story.
Take a sip.
Many, many, many years ago, I'm talking my first few years as a content creator. There was a person who became obsessed with me. I knew it because they told me outright. They were like romantically were thinking about me, and they wanted to spend time with me, and they wanted to do this. And I basically told them, listen, I'm not going to lead you on in life. This is never going to happen. Like, we're friendly. We talk. You know what I'm saying? But never, ever will that ever happen. And I tried to let them down as as nicely as I could. But even then, I could tell.
Is he talking about Panda? OIC? Derek?
That they were hurt. And quite frankly, after like maybe another month, I never spoke with that person ever again. And this was a person who had been a fan of mine, who had been a positive part of my community, And then when I outright told them, listen, I can't, I'm not going to date you. That's crazy. They couldn't take that answer and they disappeared. So for every situation like that, how many now situations do we have where you have a creator who's streaming and there's someone on the other end of that camera who has a crush on them and is now saying, well, I'm going to help them because I have a crush on this person. And they just start throwing them money to support them in this weird parasocial relationship, right? And they're expecting more than just that interaction. They're literally thinking in the back of their head, hey, maybe one day I can actually talk to this person and have a friendship. Maybe one day I can actually meet them. Maybe one day something more, a spark will happen and we'll be romantic and this and that. And that's just crazy. It is. 100%, it's crazy thinking, but that's the world we're now living in. We have a whole generation of people growing up. They have always been on the internet. Literally, they've grown up connected to the internet nonstop all day, every day. Most of their life is lived on the internet.
You, motherfucker, for the past 20 plus years? Name a day you've gone without internet. And I don't mean, guys, the internet's out. I'm going to sue Comcast if they don't get it up in the next 10 minutes. I mean, you legitimately went somewhere, did something where you had no internet. Have you gone camping? Or gone to a cottage on a scenic lake? Just be able to relax and read books and go kayaking. With no computer, not even a TV, because it has an old antenna, and the antenna stopped working when we went from analog to digital, a decade ago? Probably longer? Shit. When's the last time you had no internet? That wasn't forced by Comcast. That's what I thought. Shut the fuck up.
Even have a separation between what's real life and what's internet life. It's just, that's life to them. I grew up in a time period before the internet was everywhere. So I had a whole childhood and teen years before the internet became so prominent. So I have that life that's been separated, and I can separate. When people say to me, how do you every day go on with the amount of people on the internet who make fun of you and shit, how could you do it? Why the hell do I care about that? My life is not dictated by the internet. I have a real life off the internet that's amazing. My wife is next door right now. I can hear her doing stuff in the house, and I can't wait to spend time with her later today. That's my life. This is my work. And yes, we have fun on streams together, but that's my real life. But so many people today don't have that. All they have is this. So when they come on stream and they watch their favorite streamer, that's their life. That's their interaction and social existence for the day. And they don't have that level of separation to understand that this doesn't really matter that much. It's not that big of a deal. If you have a falling out with a streamer, oh no, I don't like their content anymore. It's not the end of the world. They don't get that because they've literally lived on the internet nonstop, 100%. So we have a whole generation of people that are growing up with this mindset that's been twisted and warped. And that's scary to think of, okay? Now, some of these comments, all right, are pretty crazy. You got someone like Asmon Gold, and he's saying, you got to be skeptical about people who support you online. If someone sends you a ton of money out of nowhere, you should block them and send the money back. So here's a question I would love to ask this to Asmon Gold, all right?
I'd like to ask this to Asmon Gold. How would you dare give money back? Don't you dare ever give money back. Don't you know how precious it is? You could use that money to spend it on WWE champions.
Right? How exactly would you do that if you're a streamer? Could you refund a whole bunch of memberships or subs that you were sent right now? No. Can you refund bits or super chats? No. You can't. You can't refund online contributions. The only situation where you could is a tip. Like something through your PayPal, I guess Venmo, you could probably reject the payment and send it back. Outside of that, when you're a creator, you just get sent shit. Like there's nothing you can do about it. You just got it. All right? So there's no real protection from a streamer, as a streamer, I should say, from someone who's coming in and contributing. And maybe it's someone who even like you, like for example, right now on Kick. All right? There's people on Kick who are blocked. They can still contribute. I'm serious. Kick doesn't even have a protection where once someone's banned, they can't contribute. They can keep contributing anyway. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can't stop them from being a contributor to your stream. That's just how they set up the business. So I find it kind of silly that you would put the blame on a victim. Someone who was murdered is somehow responsible for the fact that they had an obsessive fan who was sending them insane amounts of money, by the way, which they probably could not even reject. And now somehow that's their fault. I don't know if I agree with that take. All right. Here's what I would agree with. If you have someone who's a streamer and they are actually daily doing content that's suggestive, sexually suggestive, emotionally suggestive, that they're actually trying to milk their...
Here it is, people. No, I'm gonna go back just a little bit because this is just insane. What the fuck?
I don't know if I agree with that take, all right? Here's what I would agree with. If you have someone who's a streamer and they are actually daily doing content that's suggestive, sexually suggestive, emotionally suggestive, that they're actually trying to milk their viewers by saying and doing things that are basically manipulative. These streamers who are barely wearing any clothes or taking clothes off, jumping in hot tubs, riding pickle ricks, okay? The streamers who are, I'm going to take off my thing right on my arm, your name, and you know, I'm going to send you kisses. I'm going to do a pose if you send a contribution. That kind of stuff is messed up. That is actually, in my opinion, not morally wrong. I do believe that there should be some check and balance against it because I do actually believe that at some point it can become to the point where people will actually believe that it's real. And actually it could become like a sick thing. A sicko could actually like think that someone's in love with them because they're doing those kind of actions. But oh, by the way, just send us more money. You know, at what point do we draw the line between it's content creation or it's prostitution? I mean, maybe you didn't do the physical act, but goddamn, people are coming pretty darn close to porn at this point, right? So this is the problem with the whole social aspect and parasocial aspect of content creation, is that you have people who don't understand that it's fantasy, that there's a line to be drawn, and then they start going crazy over the level, and then you know what I'm saying? That's just crazy. So the thing is, I don't know this content creator. I can't really comment and say, oh, they were doing this kind of content, and therefore they're responsible or they're not responsible, right? I don't follow South.
I don't follow her content, so I don't know if she's responsible for her murder or not. I don't know her content, so I don't know if she's responsible for her murder or not, guys. What the fuck?
Korean creators to be giving that kind of commentary on this topic, all right?
But
if someone's sending you $70,000, you probably should question what in the holy hell is going on and if this makes any sense, okay? The AI summarized and claimed that they had a business relationship. I don't know what kind of a business relationship that they had. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, if it was like, oh, it's a business we set up together, and I decided that, no, we're not going to do it anymore, and she just decided to cut and run after accepting $70,000 of the guy's money, and now she's backing out of the business transaction. I mean, that's really underhanded, but I mean, was there a business contract in place? Could this guy have sued her? Did he feel like he wasted his whole life savings and money and this guy was now destitute and he went nuts because of it and that's why he went after? There's all these factors that we don't know the answers to, right? So you can't really sit here as an armchair critic and be like, well, this is her fault, or well, this, you know, it's kind of a fucked up situation no matter what. Murder is murder and it should never happen, okay? So the guy is 100% in the wrong here, but you actually don't know what happened. And when you're sitting back and you're going to make a...
He's 100% in the wrong, but you don't know what actually happened. What the fuck, DSP? What the fuck? He murders a woman, and you're there. I mean, I don't know what kind of content she was putting out. What if she was putting out suggestive stuff? What if she was putting out sexually suggestive stuff, guys? I'm not saying she was responsible for the murder, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what her content was like. I don't know if she deserved it or not.
comment like, oh, well, you know, it's totally her fault for accepting that money. I do think that that's a pretty fucked up thing to do. I don't think that any of us should be sitting here high and mighty and act like we really understand this situation, okay? However,
I'm not, there you go. I'm not saying she deserved to have to take on that money. However,
the point that people are making that you shouldn't just accept insane amounts of unlimited money from strangers, yeah, it kind of resonates, you know? It does.
Because you've taken tens of thousands of dollars from people like Vidar Viking, Emerald 7, King Tut, OIC, so forth.
Right now, every day, I accept money from people. I don't know who they are. I don't. There's no way to know who they are, nor should I need
You've had them send you pictures of their driver's license before. Shut the fuck up.
to know who everyone is who contributes to my content. I'm one person, you are thousands, right? So I shouldn't know each person who contributes and have a personal relationship, and I know I can trust this person. Also, at the same time that I say that, it's 2025, and we're getting more and more stories like this. It is becoming crazy to the point where, like, is it even safe for a content creator or a streamer to actually now be meeting up with people? Like, ever in real life? Is it safe to do that? Or has it become to the point where it's actually just unsafe because you never know who's a crazy stalker, right? Who's actually going to hurt you or has bad intentions, right? It's crazy to think. So you have to think about that, right? Like right now, everyone's, well, Phil, will you ever go to another convention? Well, here's the thing. 10, 15 years ago, it seemed like people were more
10, 15 years ago, I could, guys, but now you got evil AJ waiting outside my window.
normal. Today, people are nuts. Today, people do crazy shit constantly. So who's to say that there's not some nut job out there who's convinced that I'm the devil because I stream games every day and actually wants to hurt me or my family? Is the risk worth it? Probably not. I mean, guys, I'm not even kidding you. There are people who try to stalk me on my days off. They try to find out what I do on a day off, and they try to post it up all over the internet. Like,
There's no need for anyone to do that. You tell us every week what you did on your day off.
it matters. So can you imagine if I was going to a convention or if I was making a public appearance? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like maybe we're to the point where If you're an interactive streamer, it's just not even safe to get to that level to have a personal interaction with a fan, because how do you know a fan is even in their right mind? Do you really know them that well, right?
Take a sip, you sleazy asshole.
So, it's pretty insane, right? I mean, what a story. And the thing is, I sadly hate to say this, we have to understand something, which I think a lot of people don't understand. We are in the infancy stages. Yeah, I'm looking at a bug. There's a bug up there. That's what I keep looking at. There's a bug in my room, and I'm going to get it.
Shut the fuck up. We're not in the infancy stages. Live streaming is over a decade old. Video content is, God, going over 20 years now. It's not infancy. I get it, mister. Guys, when I was a young, immature child of 28, I didn't know screaming racial slurs was wrong. Guys, when I was a young, immature child, a newborn babe stuck into the teat of life of the age of 32, I didn't know it was wrong to pretend to exterminate the Jews. I get it. That's your mindset. But 10 is not infancy. 20 is not infancy. Shut the fuck up. I'm done with you. I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm not saying what happened was her fault. However, shut the fuck up. With that, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for watching. As always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have one hell of a day. And fuck this guy.